Why do some people achieve their goals while others quit after a few days? It's not luck, talent, or even motivation. It's consistency, the ability to show up every single day, no matter how you feel, no matter the circumstances. But let's be honest, staying consistent is hard. That's why you must train yourself to do it even when you don't want to. In this audiobook, you'll learn how to break excuses, push through resistance, and develop the mindset of unshakable discipline. If you're ready to stop starting over and finally stick to your goals, let's begin. Chapter 1. Why Consistency Beats Motivation. Motivation is temporary. It comes and goes like a wave, strong one moment and gone the next. That's why relying on motivation alone is a mistake. If you only take action when you feel inspired, you'll never achieve anything long-term. True success is built on consistency, the ability to show up and do the work even when you don't feel like it. Motivation is an emotion, and emotions are unreliable. Some days you feel excited and driven, but other days you feel tired, discouraged, or distracted. If you wait for motivation to strike before taking action, you'll waste valuable time. Consistency, on the other hand, doesn't depend on emotions. It's a commitment, a habit, a non-negotiable part of your life. Think about successful athletes, entrepreneurs, or artists. Do you think they wake up every day feeling motivated? No. They wake up just like everyone else, sometimes energized, sometimes exhausted. The difference is they take action no matter what. They don't wait to feel like it. They show up, put in the work, and trust the process. When you are consistent, you build momentum. At first, it's hard to stay disciplined, but the more you repeat an action, the easier it becomes. Just like a snowball rolling down a hill, small efforts grow into massive results over time. Motivation may get you started, but consistency keeps you going. Consistency also builds self-trust. Every time you follow through on your commitments, you prove to yourself that you can be relied upon. You begin to trust your own discipline more than your emotions. Over time, this self-trust turns into unshakable confidence. When you focus on consistency, you make progress even on bad days. Motivation tells you to quit when things feel difficult, but consistency keeps you moving forward, even if you're only making small steps. Those steps add up. Showing up every day, even at 50% effort, is better than only showing up when you feel 100%. Successful people understand that repetition leads to mastery. The best musicians practice their craft daily, even when they don't feel inspired. The best athletes train their bodies daily, even when they don't feel strong. Greatness is built on what you do consistently, not what you do occasionally. Motivation gives you a spark, but consistency gives you results. Think of motivation as lighting a match. It burns bright, but fades fast. Consistency is like building a fire that keeps burning no matter what. If you want lasting success, you need more than just sparks. You need discipline. Another advantage of consistency is that it eliminates decision fatigue. When something becomes a habit, you no longer have to waste energy deciding whether to do it. You don't question it, you just do it. This saves mental energy and makes it easier to stay productive. Consistency also creates identity change. When you consistently do something, you don't just develop a habit, you become that type of person. If you read every day, you're no longer just someone who tries to read, you are a reader. If you exercise consistently, you don't just try to work out, you are an athlete. Your habits shape your identity. The key to building consistency is removing the need for motivation. Stop waiting for the perfect mood, the perfect timing, or the perfect energy level. Start showing up no matter what. Make it a rule. I do this no matter how I feel. Once you stop relying on motivation, you become unstoppable. Consistency beats motivation because it makes success inevitable. If you keep showing up, improving a little every day, and refusing to quit, you will get results. It's not a question of if, it's a matter of when. Make consistency your superpower, and you'll never have to rely on motivation again. Chapter 2. How we can break the cycle of procrastination.
Procrastination is the silent killer of success. It tricks you into thinking you have more time, that you'll start tomorrow, or that waiting until you feel ready is the right choice. But tomorrow never comes. If you want to achieve anything great, you must break the cycle of procrastination, starting now. The first step to overcoming procrastination is understanding why you do it. Procrastination isn't laziness, it's a response to fear, self-doubt, or overwhelm. When a task feels too big, too uncertain, or too uncomfortable, your brain seeks escape. It distracts you with social media, TV, or anything else that gives instant gratification. But those distractions only delay your success. To stop procrastinating, you must reduce resistance. The bigger and scarier a task seems, the more likely you are to put it off. Instead of focusing on the entire task, break it into small, manageable steps. Start with just 5 minutes. Tell yourself, I'll work on this for 5 minutes, and if I want to stop after that, I can. Most of the time, just starting eliminates the mental resistance, and you end up working longer. Stop waiting to feel motivated. Motivation is unreliable, it comes and goes. Action creates motivation, not the other way around. The more you take action, the more momentum you build, and the easier it becomes to keep going. Stop thinking, start doing. One of the biggest reasons for procrastination is perfectionism. You don't start because you fear not doing it perfectly, but waiting for the perfect moment or the perfect plan is just another form of avoidance. Perfectionism is procrastination in disguise. Instead, aim for progress, not perfection. Done is better than perfect. Set a deadline, even if it's artificial. When a task has no deadline, your brain assumes you have unlimited time, which leads to procrastination. Create urgency by setting personal deadlines. Give yourself a time limit, tell someone about it, or schedule it in your calendar. Eliminate distractions before you start. If your phone notifications or background noise are pulling your attention away, take control. Put your phone on silent, close unnecessary tabs, and create a distraction-free environment. The fewer temptations you have, the easier it is to stay focused. One powerful trick to overcome procrastination is the 2-minute rule. If a task takes less than 2 minutes, do it immediately. If it takes longer, break it into a small task that you can complete in 2 minutes. Small actions reduce mental barriers and make it easier to keep going. Another method is accountability. Tell someone about your goal and ask them to check in on your progress. When someone else is expecting results, you're more likely to follow through. Public commitment increases accountability. Your environment shapes your behavior more than you think. Surround yourself with people who take action. If your friends and colleagues are driven and disciplined, their habits will influence you. If they procrastinate, you're more likely to do the same. Choose your surroundings wisely. Procrastination thrives on excuses. I'll do it later, I'm too tired, I'll start next week. These excuses keep you stuck. Challenge them by asking yourself, what's the worst that will happen if I start now? Most of the time, your fear is irrational. The only real consequence of procrastination is wasted time. Visualize the consequences of inaction. If you continue procrastinating, where will you be in a year? How will you feel? What opportunities will you have missed? Contrast this with the rewards of taking action today. Use this visualization to push yourself forward. Procrastination weakens your self-trust. Every time you delay, you teach yourself that you can't be relied on. But when you start taking action, even in small ways, you rebuild trust in yourself. You prove to yourself that you are disciplined and capable. Create a system, not just a goal. A goal is the result you want, a system is the process that gets you there. Instead of saying, I want to write a book, set a system. I will write for 30 minutes every morning. Systems eliminate the need for motivation and make action automatic. Turn tasks into habits. The more often you do something, the less mental energy it takes. Build consistency by making your actions part of your daily routine. When something becomes automatic, procrastination disappears. Reward yourself for taking action. Your brain loves rewards. After completing a task, give yourself a small reward, a break, a favorite snack, or anything that reinforces positive behavior. This strengthens the habit of taking action. Remind yourself that perfection isn't required. Starting is. Every expert was once a beginner. Every great success story started with someone taking the first imperfect step. Your job is not to be perfect, it's to begin. In the end, procrastination is a habit, and like any habit, it can be broken. The secret is to stop thinking about doing it and just start. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Don't wait for motivation. Start now.
Chapter 3. How to Train Your Mind for Daily Discipline. Discipline is the bridge between goals and achievement. Without it, dreams remain just dreams. Motivation might get you started, but discipline is what keeps you going. The ability to do what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it, is what separates those who succeed from those who give up. The good news? Discipline is a skill. It can be trained, built, and strengthened. The first step in training your mind for discipline is making a decision. You must decide that no matter how you feel, no matter the circumstances, you will commit to taking action. Discipline isn't about waiting for the perfect moment, it's about taking action regardless of the situation. Winners act based on commitment, not emotions. Create a clear why behind your goals. Discipline is much easier to maintain when you have a strong reason for your actions. Ask yourself, why is this goal important to me? How will my life change if I stay disciplined? What will happen if I don't? A strong enough why eliminates excuses. Start with small daily commitments. Discipline is like a muscle. The more you train it, the stronger it gets. Instead of overwhelming yourself with huge goals, start small and stay consistent. Even a simple habit like waking up at the same time every day or setting a 5-minute rule for a task reinforces your ability to follow through. Remove distractions before they control you. Your environment plays a massive role in your discipline. If your phone, social media, or other temptations are constantly in front of you, they will drain your focus. Set up your space for success. Remove distractions and make it easier to stay disciplined. Developing self-discipline means mastering your thoughts. Your mind will always try to convince you to take the easy path. It will say, you can do it later, or you don't feel like it right now. Recognize these thoughts as obstacles, and instead, train yourself to act despite them. Turn discipline into an identity. Instead of saying, I need to be more disciplined, say, I am a disciplined person. Your identity shapes your actions. When you truly believe you are a disciplined person, you start making decisions that align with that belief. Discipline isn't something you do, it's who you are. Use the 5-second rule. Whenever you feel resistance to taking action, count down from 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and move. This technique disrupts hesitation and forces you to take immediate action before your mind creates an excuse. Develop self-control by delaying gratification. Train your mind to resist instant rewards in favor of long-term success. The ability to say no to short-term pleasure in exchange for long-term gain is a hallmark of high achievers. Every time you choose discipline over comfort, you strengthen your willpower. Track your progress. Keep a journal, checklist, or habit tracker to measure your consistency. Seeing tangible evidence of your efforts builds confidence and reinforces your commitment. Progress is motivation in itself. Hold yourself accountable when no one is watching. Discipline is tested. Champions don't need someone else to push them. They push themselves.
However, if you struggle, find an accountability partner who checks in on your progress. Knowing that someone else expects you to follow through increases your chances of success. Master the art of self-talk. What you say to yourself matters. If you constantly tell yourself, "I'm not disciplined," or "I always procrastinate," your mind will believe it. Instead, reprogram your thoughts. Replace limiting beliefs with empowering ones. I follow through on my commitments. I am disciplined and consistent. I do what needs to be done no matter how I feel. Eliminate decision fatigue. The more choices you have to make, the harder it becomes to stay disciplined. Simplify your daily routines. Prepare your meals in advance. Set up a morning ritual or create a schedule that removes unnecessary decisions. Discipline thrives when your environment supports automatic action. Make it easy to start. If a task feels overwhelming, break it down into the smallest possible step. Want to exercise? Just put on your workout clothes. Want to write? Just open your laptop. Once you start, momentum takes over. Reward your discipline. While discipline requires sacrifice, it's important to celebrate your wins. Rewards reinforce positive behavior and make discipline a habit you enjoy rather than something you dread. Acknowledge your progress and keep going. Don't rely on feelings, rely on systems. Emotions fluctuate, but a strong system ensures consistency. Create a structured plan for your goals and stick to it, even when motivation disappears. Train yourself to embrace discomfort. Growth and comfort cannot exist together. The more you push through discomfort, the easier it becomes. Discipline means doing the hard things when others quit. Stop negotiating with yourself. Champions don't argue with their own excuses, they override them. When your mind says, "Just skip it today," answer back, "No, this is who I am. I show up every day." Build a morning routine that sets the tone for success. The way you start your day determines your mindset. Establish habits that create momentum: exercise, meditation, goal setting, or reading. A strong morning routine builds discipline from the moment you wake up. Adopt a no excuses mentality. Winners don't make excuses, they find solutions. Train yourself to solve problems instead of avoiding them. Discipline means taking full responsibility for your success. You are in control. Conclusion: discipline is not about punishment, it's about freedom. When you train your mind to be disciplined, you gain control over your actions, emotions, and results. You become the kind of person who doesn't need motivation. You simply do what's necessary. Train yourself to be disciplined, and success becomes inevitable.
Chapter 4: How to Push Through Resistance. Resistance is the invisible force that tries to stop you from taking action. It's that voice in your head that whispers, "Not today," or the feeling of hesitation that keeps you from starting something important. Resistance shows up as fear, doubt, procrastination, or even exhaustion. But here's the truth. The bigger the goal, the stronger the resistance. The key to success is learning how to push through it. The first step to overcoming resistance is recognizing it for what it is: a test. Resistance is not a sign that you should stop, it's a sign that what you're about to do actually matters. Your brain tries to keep you safe by avoiding discomfort, but growth only happens when you push past that discomfort. Action kills resistance. The longer you hesitate, the stronger resistance becomes. The best way to weaken it is to move immediately. Don't wait to feel ready. Start before you're ready. Even the smallest action in the right direction can break through the mental block and get you moving. Resistance is strongest at the beginning. Once you start, it weakens. Think about exercising. Getting out the door is often the hardest part, but once you begin, you usually feel fine. Train yourself to push through the initial resistance, and you'll gain momentum. A powerful trick to beat resistance is reducing the size of the task. If a goal feels overwhelming, your mind will resist it. Instead of thinking, "I need to write a book," think, I need to write one sentence. Instead of, I have to work out for an hour, think, I'll do 5 minutes. Once you begin, it's much easier to keep going. Discomfort is not a reason to stop. Resistance often comes disguised as fatigue, distraction, or boredom. But champions push through discomfort because they understand this truth. Your mind will quit before your body actually needs to. Most of the time, you have more energy, focus, and strength left than you think. Make a habit of doing things when you don't feel like it. If you only take action when it's easy, you'll never reach your full potential. The people who succeed are the ones who work even when they're tired, even when they're uninspired, even when they're uncertain. They train themselves to act despite resistance. Remove all possible distractions. Resistance thrives when you allow distractions to take over. If your phone, social media, or background noise keeps pulling your attention away, take control of your environment. A distraction-free space makes it easier to focus and reduces the temptation to procrastinate. Use the 5-second rule. The moment you feel resistance, count down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Take action before your mind talks you out of doing something. This simple trick forces you to break hesitation and move before resistance builds up. Visualize the consequences of giving in to resistance. Ask yourself, what will happen if I keep avoiding this? What opportunities will I miss? How will I feel in a month if I don't push through? When the pain of inaction becomes stronger than the discomfort of taking action, you'll break through resistance. Change your self-talk. The way you talk to yourself matters. Instead of saying, I can't do this, say, I always find a way. Instead of thinking, this is too hard, tell yourself, I'm strong enough to handle this. Your mind listens to what you tell it. Train it to believe in your ability to push through. Create a no negotiation rule. Champions don't argue with their own excuses. When they set a goal, they commit to it without questioning it. Every day, make certain actions non-negotiable. Whether it's working out, writing, or practicing a skill, decide once and don't let resistance talk you out of it. Use rewards to keep yourself going. Resistance can be beaten by making the process enjoyable. Set up small rewards for completing tasks. It could be as simple as taking a break, listening to music, or treating yourself after a productive session. The brain responds well to positive reinforcement, so use it to your advantage. Remember why you started. When resistance feels overwhelming, reconnect with your deeper purpose. Why did you set this goal? What are you trying to achieve? Who will benefit from your success? Keeping your purpose front and center will give you the strength to push forward even when your mind tries to resist. Conclusion. Resistance is an obstacle that never fully disappears, but it can be defeated. The key is to act before it stops you. Move fast, reduce hesitation, and build the habit of showing up even when you don't feel like it. The ability to push through resistance is what separates those who dream from those who achieve. The choice is yours. Will you let resistance win, or will you push through?
Chapter 5. The Role of Habits in Long-Term Success. Success is not about a single moment of brilliance. It's about what you do every day. Habits shape your future more than talent, luck, or motivation ever will. The difference between those who achieve greatness and those who stay stuck is not intelligence or opportunity. It's the small, consistent actions repeated over time. Your daily habits define your future. The actions you take repeatedly, whether positive or negative, determine the direction of your life. If you build good habits, success becomes inevitable. If you allow bad habits to take over, failure becomes just as predictable. Habits remove the need for constant decision-making. When something becomes a habit, you don't have to think about doing it, you just do it. This eliminates resistance, saves mental energy, and allows you to focus on bigger challenges without struggling over small choices. Small habits compound over time. Doing something for 5 or 10 minutes a day may not seem like much, but over a year, that time adds up to massive results. A small improvement repeated consistently leads to extraordinary outcomes in the long run. The secret to success is making good habits automatic. If you have to force yourself to do something every day, you'll eventually give up. Instead, integrate habits into your daily routine so they happen naturally, like brushing your teeth or making your bed. To build lasting habits, start small. If you try to change everything at once, you'll get overwhelmed and quit. Instead, start with tiny habits that require minimal effort, like reading 1 page of a book, doing 5 push-ups, or writing for 2 minutes. Once a habit is established, you can build on it. Your environment plays a huge role in shaping your habits. If you surround yourself with distractions, bad influences, or negativity, your habits will reflect that. But if you design your environment for success by removing temptations, setting up reminders, and surrounding yourself with motivated people, you make it easier to stay consistent. The most successful people in the world don't have superhuman discipline, they have systems. Systems are routines and processes that support your habits. Instead of relying on willpower, they create structures that make success the default option. Habits create identity change. When you consistently perform an action, you start seeing yourself differently. If you write every day, you become a writer. If you exercise daily, you become an athlete. Your habits shape who you are. Breaking bad habits is just as important as building good ones. Every negative habit, procrastination, unhealthy eating, excessive social media use, steals your time, energy, and focus. The key is to replace bad habits with positive alternatives, making it easier to let go of destructive behaviors. Tracking your habits helps you stay consistent. When you see visual proof of your progress, like a calendar streak or a habit tracker, you feel more motivated to keep going. Even small wins build momentum and make it easier to stick to your goals. Never let one bad day break the habit. Everyone has off days, but missing one day doesn't ruin your progress. Giving up does. If you slip up, get back on track immediately. Consistency beats perfection every time. The best habits are the ones that align with your long-term vision. Don't just build habits because they sound good. Build habits that move you closer to your biggest goals. Every habit should serve a purpose and contribute to the life you want to create. Surround yourself with people who have the habits you want. If you spend time with disciplined, goal-oriented individuals, their habits will naturally influence you. Success is contagious. Choose your environment wisely. Conclusion: long-term success is not about grand gestures. It's about what you do every day. Your habits are either building you up or tearing you down. Choose wisely, stay consistent, and watch as your small daily actions create a future beyond your imagination. Success isn't a result of luck, it's a result of your habits.
Chapter 6: How to Overcome Mental Barriers to Stay Consistent. Staying consistent isn't just about motivation or discipline, it's about breaking through the mental barriers that hold you back. Many people start strong, but their own thoughts and fears become obstacles that sabotage their progress. To stay consistent, you must train your mind to defeat self-doubt, fear, and resistance. The first mental barrier is self-doubt. Many people fail to stay consistent because they don't believe they can. They think, what if I'm not good enough? What if I fail? But self-doubt is just a thought. It's not reality. Winners take action despite their doubts. Perfectionism is another hitting barrier. Many people avoid taking action because they fear it won't be perfect. But waiting for perfection leads to procrastination. Success doesn't require perfection, it requires progress. Taking imperfect action is always better than doing nothing. Fear of failure stops people from staying consistent. They think, what if I try and don't succeed? But failure is not the opposite of success. It's part of the journey. Every failure is a lesson that brings you closer to your goal. The only true failure is quitting. Emotional resistance can destroy consistency. Some days you won't feel like showing up. You'll be tired, frustrated, or discouraged, but consistency isn't about feelings. It's about commitment. Act first, and motivation will follow. Another common mental barrier is overthinking. Many people spend too much time analyzing instead of taking action. They look for the perfect strategy instead of just starting. Clarity comes from action, not thinking. Stop overanalyzing and start doing. Excuses are your biggest enemy. I'm too busy. I'm not in the mood. I'll start tomorrow. These excuses feel valid in the moment, but they are just lies your mind tells you to avoid discomfort. Winners recognize excuses and push through them. Many people struggle with consistency because they focus too much on results. They think, I've been working hard, but I don't see progress. But success takes time. Focus on the process, not just the outcome. The results will come if you keep showing up. Self-discipline is a muscle that needs training. If you've struggled with consistency before, it's not because you're weak, it's because you haven't built the habit. Start small, stay consistent, and your discipline will grow stronger. Your environment plays a huge role in consistency. If you're surrounded by distractions, negativity, or unmotivated people, staying consistent will be harder. Set up your environment for success. Eliminate distractions and surround yourself with driven individuals. A powerful way to overcome mental barriers is visualization. Close your eyes and imagine yourself staying consistent every day, pushing through challenges and achieving your goal. Your brain responds to what you repeatedly visualize. Accountability is a game changer. Tell someone about your goal and ask them to check in on your progress. When you know someone else is expecting results, you'll be more likely to stay consistent. Public commitment increases accountability. One of the biggest reasons people quit is boredom. When the excitement wears off, tasks can feel repetitive. Champions stay consistent even when it's boring. They understand that mastery comes from repetition. Your identity shapes your consistency. If you see yourself as someone who struggles to stay disciplined, you'll act that way. Instead, tell yourself, I am a disciplined person. Your actions will start to align with your new identity. Tracking your progress removes doubt. Keep a journal or habit tracker to see your growth. When you see evidence of your consistency, it strengthens your belief that you can keep going. Success is built on small wins. Reduce the number of decisions you make. Decision fatigue weakens your willpower. Automate your habits so you don't have to think about them. If something is part of your routine, you won't have to fight resistance every day. Your energy levels affect consistency. If you're exhausted, it's harder to stay committed. Prioritize sleep, exercise, and proper nutrition. A strong body supports a strong mind. Doubt is natural, but it doesn't have to stop you. Every successful person has moments of doubt. The difference? They don't let doubt control them. They take action anyway. Create a system for when you feel unmotivated. Have a plan in place for difficult days. Whether it's listening to motivational content, revisiting your goals, or taking a short break, find what helps you refocus. Embrace discomfort instead of avoiding it. Growth happens outside your comfort zone. Instead of seeing discomfort as a bad thing, recognize it as a sign that you're making progress. Discomfort means you're leveling up. The secret to long-term consistency is simply deciding that quitting is not an option. Remove giving up from your mind. Make consistency your only choice, and success will follow. Conclusion: overcoming mental barriers is the key to staying consistent. Your mind will always try to stop you, but you don't have to listen. Recognize the lies, silence the excuses, and take action anyway. You have the power to train your mind for discipline. The only question is, will you use it?
Chapter 7: How to Build Unbreakable Self-Discipline. Self-discipline is the foundation of success. It's what separates the average from the extraordinary. Not talent, luck, or intelligence. The ability to control your actions, follow through on your commitments, and stay consistent even when you don't feel like it is what makes champions. The good news? Self-discipline is not something you're born with, it's something you build. The first step to unbreakable self-discipline is understanding your why. Without a strong reason behind your actions, discipline will feel like a burden. Ask yourself, why is this goal important to me?
What will my life look like if I stay disciplined? What will happen if I don't? When your reason is clear, your discipline becomes unstoppable. Make discipline a part of your identity. Instead of saying, I need to be more disciplined, say, I am a disciplined person. Your actions will always follow your identity. When you see yourself as someone who follows through, you naturally start acting that way. Discipline is built through action, not thinking. Many people overanalyze instead of just doing the work. The fastest way to develop discipline is to take action, even when you don't feel like it. The more you act, the stronger your discipline becomes. Start small, but be consistent. People fail at discipline because they try to change everything at once. Instead, pick one small habit, something so easy you can't fail, and do it every day. Consistency is more important than intensity in the beginning. Remove temptations before they test your discipline. Self-discipline is easier when your environment supports it. If you struggle with social media, delete apps or use website blockers. If you want to eat healthier, don't keep junk food in the house. Make discipline the easy choice. Discipline is making a promise to yourself and keeping it. Every time you follow through on something, you build self-trust. But every time you break a commitment, you weaken your discipline. Treat your promises to yourself as seriously as promises to others. Master your emotions instead of letting them control you. There will be days when you feel tired, discouraged, or unmotivated. But feelings don't decide your actions, you do. Discipline means showing up regardless of how you feel. Use the 2-minute rule to get started. If you're struggling to take action, tell yourself you'll only do it for 2 minutes. Whether it's reading, exercising, or working, starting is the hardest part. Once you begin, momentum takes over. Eliminate excuses before they appear. Your brain will always try to justify skipping something. I'm too tired. I'll do it later. One day won't matter. Recognize these as lies and push through anyway. Winners don't negotiate with excuses. Hold yourself accountable. Track your progress, set deadlines, and have someone check in on you. When you know someone else is watching, your discipline strengthens. Public accountability increases commitment. Avoid decision fatigue. The more decisions you make in a day, the weaker your willpower becomes. Simplify your life. Create routines, plan meals, and schedule tasks in advance. Discipline thrives when decisions are automatic. Make discipline non-negotiable. Champions don't ask themselves, should I do this today? They just do it. Treat your promises to yourself as seriously as promises to others. Train your mind to love discomfort. Growth comes from pushing past comfort. Instead of avoiding hard things, see them as challenges that make you stronger. Winners embrace the struggle. Visualize yourself as a disciplined person. Close your eyes and imagine your future self, someone who follows through, takes action, and never gives up. Your mind believes what you repeatedly visualize. Make failure part of the process. You will slip up. You will have bad days. But discipline isn't about never failing. It's about getting back on track immediately. Never let one bad day turn into 2. Create rewards for disciplined behavior. Your brain responds to incentives. When you complete a difficult task, reward yourself, whether it's a small treat, a break, or something meaningful. Reinforce discipline with positive feedback. Surround yourself with disciplined people. If your environment is full of procrastinators, staying disciplined will be harder. But if you're around people who push themselves, you'll naturally rise to their level. Success is contagious. Read, listen, and learn from those who master discipline. Study successful athletes, entrepreneurs, and leaders. Their mindset, routines, and habits will inspire you to strengthen your own discipline. Learn from those who have already done it. Stay patient. Discipline is a lifelong practice. You won't be perfect overnight, but if you commit to showing up every day, no matter how small the effort, you will build an unstoppable mindset. Conclusion: discipline is not a punishment, it's freedom. The more control you have over your actions, the more control you have over your life. Build unbreakable self-discipline, and nothing will stand in your way.
Chapter 8. How to deal with setbacks and stay on track.
Setbacks are inevitable. No matter how disciplined, motivated, or prepared you are, there will be times when things don't go as planned. The true test of success is not avoiding setbacks, but learning how to respond to them without losing momentum. Champions don't let failures define them. They use them as fuel to push forward. The first step in dealing with setbacks is acceptance. Many people waste time and energy resisting reality. They get frustrated, dwell on their mistakes, or blame external circumstances. Instead of fighting the setback, acknowledge it and refocus on the next step. Setbacks do not erase progress. Just because you hit a rough patch doesn't mean you're back at square one. Progress is never a straight line. It's a series of ups and downs. Your past efforts still count, and you can get back on track faster than you think. One of the biggest mistakes people make after a setback is waiting for the perfect time to start again. There is no perfect time. The longer you delay, the harder it becomes to restart. The best time to get back on track is now. Detach your emotions from the setback. Failure, frustration, and disappointment are natural feelings, but they shouldn't control your actions. Separate the event from your identity. Just because you failed at something doesn't mean you're a failure. You are still in control. Reframe the setback as a lesson. Every challenge holds a valuable lesson. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? What went wrong, and how can I improve next time? How can I use this experience to become stronger? Shifting your mindset from frustration to learning turns a setback into an opportunity for growth. Take responsibility, but don't punish yourself. Owning your mistakes is important, but self-blame won't help you move forward. Instead of saying, "I always mess up," say, "This was a mistake, but I can fix it." The way you talk to yourself after a setback determines how quickly you bounce back. Avoid the all-or-nothing mindset. Many people quit completely after one setback because they think, "I already failed, so what's the point?" But one mistake doesn't erase all your hard work. A small detour doesn't mean the journey is over. Create a plan for getting back on track. Instead of feeling overwhelmed by everything you need to fix, focus on one small step. Start with the easiest, most manageable action. Once you take that first step, momentum will build again. Surround yourself with people who keep you accountable. If you isolate yourself after a setback, it's easy to spiral into self-doubt. Reach out to friends, mentors, or a support system that encourages you to keep going. Having the right people in your corner makes a huge difference. Track your progress instead of focusing on perfection. If you only measure success in big wins, setbacks will feel devastating. Instead, track small improvements. Seeing progress, even small steps forward, keeps you motivated and prevents discouragement. Be flexible with your methods, but firm with your goals. Just because one strategy didn't work doesn't mean your goal is impossible. Adjust your approach and keep moving forward. Winners don't quit when things get tough, they adapt. Use setbacks as proof that you're growing. Challenges don't happen to people who do nothing. The fact that you're facing obstacles means you're stepping outside your comfort zone. Growth only happens when you push past limits. Break the cycle of negative thinking. After a setback, it's easy to focus on what went wrong. Instead, focus on solutions and the future. The past can't be changed, but the next decision you make can put you back on the right path. Develop resilience by expecting setbacks. If you expect the journey to be smooth, every obstacle will feel like a disaster. Instead, anticipate setbacks and have a mindset that says, "Whatever happens, I will keep going." Celebrate your ability to recover. Every time you overcome a setback, you prove to yourself that you are stronger than your challenges. Recognizing this builds mental toughness. Your ability to rise after failure defines your success. Forgive yourself and move forward. Holding on to guilt or regret will only drain your energy. Learn from the experience, make adjustments, and keep going. What matters most is not the setback, it's what you do next. Conclusion: setbacks are not the end. They are part of the process. What separates winners from quitters is how they respond to failure. Every successful person has faced setbacks, but they didn't let them stop them. Stay focused, stay strong, and always get back up. Your consistency will pay off.
Chapter 9. Why tracking your progress is so important. Success is not just about setting goals, it's about measuring progress. If you don't track your actions, you won't know whether you're improving, falling behind, or staying the same. Tracking progress gives you clarity, motivation, and a roadmap to success. Without it, you're just guessing. Many people fail not because they lack effort, but because they don't track their growth. They assume they're not making progress because they don't see immediate results. But success happens in small, consistent steps. When you track your efforts, you see proof that you are moving forward, even if progress feels slow. Tracking eliminates uncertainty. It's easy to feel lost when you don't have a clear picture of where you stand. Measuring your progress helps you stay on track and prevents you from wasting time on ineffective strategies. When you track your progress, you turn invisible effort into visible results. Sometimes improvement happens so gradually that you don't notice it. By documenting your journey, you give yourself tangible proof that your efforts are paying off. Tracking progress keeps you accountable. When you have a system to measure your actions, you can't ignore them. If you skip a task or break a habit, you'll see it reflected in your records. This accountability makes it harder to lie to yourself. It builds momentum. Every time you check off a completed task, you reinforce positive behavior. Seeing progress encourages you to keep going because you don't want to lose the streak that you've built. Tracking helps you identify patterns. If you measure your progress consistently, you'll start to notice trends. You'll see when you're most productive, what obstacles slow you down, and what strategies work best. This allows you to refine your approach and improve faster. It helps you adjust your goals. Sometimes goals need to be modified based on reality. If you're tracking your progress, you can see what's working and what isn't. This flexibility ensures you stay aligned with what actually leads to success. Tracking keeps you motivated during slow progress. Some improvements take time to show results. If you're focused on weight loss, skill building, or business growth, you may not see dramatic changes right away. But tracking allows you to recognize small wins that eventually add up to big success. It turns goals into a game.